Well, hey there, it's Corinna from mydigitalfarmer.com. So glad you're here today. Have you ever wondered how to build an email drip campaign? Well, today that's what I'm going to teach you how to do. If you've been with me at any time at all, you know that the email drip campaign is the workhorse behind my marketing strategy. It's one of the primary players. I use it to kind of act as the behind the scenes salesperson that talks about my product once someone has shown interest in my brand. So I'm going to walk you behind the scenes of ConvertKit in my account and show you how to build an email drip campaign inside of ConvertKit. So let's go. All right, well, here we are inside of ConvertKit, and you can see at the top that there are 5 different choices, and we're going to look at the sequences section. So we're going to click on that, and this is going to bring you to the dashboard for my sequences. You can see all of the ones that I have built so far, and they even give you some of the main stats. Now, if you want to make a new sequence, all you have to do is click this pink button, and the first thing you're asked to do is give it a name. So let's just pretend that we're going to call it CSA Draft Sales Sequence. All right, and then we'll hit Create Sequence. And boom, we have our sequence here. So how is this section put together? Well, it's very simple. There's kind of 3 main areas. This is the primary canvas where you're going to write all your emails in your text, and you can insert pictures in here as well. Over here on the left is the entire sequence at a glance. And the way to add additional emails is to just simply click the Add Email button. So right now, this sequence has 2 emails back to back. I can now add a 3rd and a 4th. Now, this will also tell me if they're currently published or in draft form. You can see that they're all in draft form. They all start out that way, and you have to turn them into a published form. Now, there's also an important section over here, which we'll look at when I actually take you behind the scenes into one of my sequences. But this is also kind of the 3rd section where you can look at reports for this particular drip campaign, as well as settings where you can adjust some things that apply to the entire drip campaign, not just this one individual email. But let me just show you, for example, let's go up to this first one, and let's just do a few things to this one email to show you how it works. So let's pretend that we want to say hello. Now, I could just say hi and start writing, but ConvertKit allows you to kind of personalize it. So you can come over here, hit personalize, and I can hit subscriber's name, where it will just put the subscriber's name there. Or I can change it and do subscriber's name with fallback, just in case they didn't put their first name into my form when they first filled it out. And then this kind of puts this formula here. So when someone gets my email, it's going to feel like I wrote just to them, and it's going to have their name in it. You can also add a picture. So let's just say that I wanted to put a picture of something here. I would click on Insert Image. I would choose a file. Oh, let's see. Let's go into my photos, and let's say I'm going to choose this happy little tomato. And we're going to wait for it to load. Boom, there it is. It's awfully big, so I always end up sizing it down. Oh my, I just changed him a little bit. There he is. That's a little bit too small. But you can change the size of this. You can also turn this into a link. So if you want, you can actually place the link right here. And then I usually always click this box, open link in new tab if that's the case, and then save it. And now this is a live link. And when someone clicks on the picture, it would take them to the video or whatever, wherever you've linked that particular image. So that's a way to add pictures into the canvas here as well. You can also add links. So let's say I want to tell them to download my guide. Then I would just select that phrase. I would hit the link button right here, insert link, and then I would type in the URL address of the particular guide, the PDF that I want them to download. And I would upload that PDF onto my website inside the media library of my website, so I would know what that URL address is, and that's where that URL address would go in this box. Once again, you want to hit open link in new tab. And what I love is that you can also tag a subscriber who clicks this link. So let's just say that this particular email sequence was mentioning how I sell an academy. And so the link talked about, hey, if you want to see how the academy works, click on this video. Well, if I see them click on the video, I can tag them and say, hey, interested in the academy. I actually have a tag for that. And I'm creating an email sequence to sell the academy as well. So somebody could get tagged as an interest in academy because of clicking on this link, and now they're going to be put into another kind of list within ConvertKit that identifies them as someone that I can kind of go after if I want to try and sell them the academy if this doesn't work out later. Okay, so pretty awesome. You would just hit insert and it's in. So that's a way to turn this into a link. You can also attach files as well with this paperclip. So you can bold, you can italicize, you can order lists with bullets. There's all kinds of things you can do. You can even change the color of something and the font size simply by selecting it, changing the pixel size, playing around with the color. So just kind of click around in here until you find the one you like. And now you've got color in your email too. Okay. So that's kind of the basics of building an individual email inside of your email builder. You can also tell ConvertKit when you want this particular email to be sent. So right now, the default setting is this one's going to go out one day after somebody signs up for your form. And if I wanted to go out immediately, I would just click on this pencil and I would change the 1 to a 0. And now it's going to go out immediately. But I can also change it to hours. So I could say, I want this to go out 12 hours, where you just click here, 12 hours after they subscribe. And maybe I can even say, you know what, I don't want to bug them on Saturdays or Sundays ever. So I'm just going to select these, take those out of the rotation, and this email will never go out on a Saturday or a Sunday. So there's kind of a way to do that as well. Now, there may be a time when you need to filter someone out of one particular email. Maybe you're giving away a particular PDF download that you know they've gotten already if they're subscribed to another list. So I have the A to Z vegetable storage guide, for instance, that people often get the very first time they interact with me. That's the first thing they ever download. But then they find out about the CSA and they stumble upon that. I don't want to send them a whole email about how awesome the A to Z vegetable storage guide is again if they've already gotten it. So I could filter that particular email if that's what this one was about, and I could click this little funnel. And I could say, you know what, exclude subscribers from getting this particular email if they match any of the following. And then I would find the filter. So if they're subscribed to, and then I would find that particular, if they're subscribed to a particular tag, or I could say a particular product or a particular form. So if I know the A to Z vegetable guide, here we go right there. If they've gotten through this form, then they've already gotten this document, so they don't need to get that again. So then I would add that, and this is going to take 313 subscribers on my list right now out of the equation because they've already received that. Okay, so this is a really cool tool to be able to filter out individual content. So let's go back and take a look at some of the sequences that I've built so that you can see a few more features. All right, we're back inside of my dashboard for all of my sequences, and I'm going to show you what my CSA leads sequence looks like. Okay, so let's kind of click on this. It's a 22-day sequence with 11 emails, and here is the order. So if I wanted to change the order, remember I can just simply drag and drop and move them around like this. But what I want to point out to you right now is this section up here, the settings and the reports. So what I love about the reports, let's click on reports, is that this is going to show me at a glance how my sequence is doing at a very individual level. So I can go really deep and see, okay, how is the first one doing? So we can see the first one gets a 67.4% open rate, a pretty high click-through rate, and no unsubscribers, okay? I can kind of then scroll down and just see, well, how are the open rates doing as they progress? And they do get lower, which is normal, but I can see which ones are really not doing so well, which ones are the least popular, like this one. Which box size should I get? I'll tell you. That might say to me, you know what, not too many people are interested in that question, so maybe that shouldn't be in my sales sequence. But one thing I do notice when I go down is that I've spiked back up to a 52% open rate with this particular email, which is unusual because it's so far down in the sequence. So let me take a look at which one that is. Oh, it's the something no other CSA is doing email. Well, why is that particular email doing so well? And this is the one that talks about the Academy and all of the value that we add with our videos and trainings. So this is a really great way to kind of see how your content is doing and if it's resonating with the people who are going through it. I also want to show you the settings section. These are kind of the rules that you can apply to the entire sequence. So anything that you set up in here will apply to everything that's in your drip sequence. You can change the name of how you want your sender to come. So if you have multiple email addresses, that's something you can set up here. You can also say, I never want anything from this drip campaign to fire on a Tuesday, for instance. So that happens to be the day that I send out a newsletter to my entire list during the season. So that might be something that I checkbox because I don't want to have someone ever get so many emails from me on the same day that it's overwhelming. So this is where I might set up that rule. You even can say around what time you want these emails to go out whenever they do go out. And this is a really powerful section too, where you can exclude certain subscribers from this sequence. So in my case, if I were putting together if I were showing you, well, I think I did, if this is the sequence that's all about CSA leads, I know that there are a lot of you farmers, for instance, that are kind of interested in my lead magnets, who have been downloading my lead magnets to see what they look like. And I have excluded you from getting this particular email sales sequence because I know that you're not actually going to buy. So I don't want my numbers to be skewed because I have people who are just kind of wanting to scope out how it works in my stats. So what I do is I come and say anybody who is tagged, you can see as a 2018 member in the CSA, as a digital farmer, gets removed from this sequence. If they subscribe to one of the forms that triggered this sequence, but they have one of these tags, they're not going to get it. So that's a really powerful asset to have inside of your email service provider, and it's really easy to set up in here. You can also delete and duplicate your sequence here, which is a great way if you don't want to have to reinvent the wheel and you have to do a second template the next year. If you want to use a similar email sales sequence for 2019, then I just duplicate it and play around with it and switch it up. So that's all the stuff that happens here. So there you have it. That is the drip campaign in a nutshell inside of ConvertKit. I love this tool, and if you want to check it out, I want to encourage you to use my affiliate link, which I'll post down here in the comments, because I just absolutely love this tool. It's so intuitive, it's so easy. And if you do end up subscribing or joining ConvertKit through that link, I will get a very small commission, which I really, really appreciate. It kind of helps support what I do here for farmers. If you would like to, I'm going to do another video that teaches you how to put together a form inside of ConvertKit and link it up to a particular drip campaign. So make sure you check out that particular training as well. I'll add that in the comments below too. Thanks, guys.